Hey guys, Frank here from Pro Gun. What's up? Thanks for joining our live stream. Today is Saturday, January 24th, 2026. And as usual, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join. And we have a few people joining now. We'll give it another couple minutes. Hope everyone is safe and not getting too much snow or rain from the storm. And we haven't gotten it yet here, but hopefully we'll be okay and the power won't go out. Okay, people are starting to join now. Just give it another minute. I was hoping I'd get to SHOT Show this year and didn't get to. It's on my bucket list. One day I'll do it, maybe next year. But they have some cool things at SHOT Show this year. And one of them that I saw from Palmetto State is the AXR series. And the AXR series is modular components, fire control group, barrels, slides, so you can purchase the fire control unit and you can build any kind of rifle or pistol you want with the components. I think that's a great idea from Palmetto State. They make good quality products. So last Saturday, I did get to go out and shoot the Henry. And I just released a video from the Henry Big Boy. So if you guys haven't done so, please watch it. And Ted, welcome. Hope you're all okay and warm. I know New Jersey is probably getting pounded today. But even here in Tennessee, we're supposed to be getting snow. Originally, they were calling for 11 inches. I think it's down to 1 now, but temperature is dropping and we are concerned about freezing rain. Don't know how many people will be joining today because I don't know what the weather is like everywhere. So I'll start off with the gun news. And yeah, I don't miss the cold and snow either, but we do still get some here in Tennessee. You know, for those of you who watch my streams, you know that I'm a big supporter and advocate for our Second Amendment rights. And I always encourage everyone to reach out to their representatives. I do it on a regular basis. Every month, I go to the Tennessee General Assembly website, and I like to look and see what new bills they're proposing and write my representatives and tell them to either vote for or against the bill, depending on what it is. And I was on their website yesterday, and I want to thank our representative, Diana Harshberger, for two bills she's sponsoring. And the first one would prohibit a landlord from telling a tenant who rents an apartment, an office, or a store that they are not allowed to have firearms or ammunition on premises. That is a great bill. I never thought about that before. Um, but, if for some reason someone is forced to relocate and they have to rent an apartment in the meantime, uh, what about their Second Amendment rights? And I guess currently, the landlord owns the home or the property, and they have the right to tell tenants whether they can or can't have firearms or ammunition on the property. And this bill would prohibit that. So kudos to our Representative Diana Harshabarger for that. The other bill is that medical or healthcare professionals will no longer be allowed to ask you if you own firearms or ammunition. And if they do, they'll be subject to disciplinary actions and $1,000 fine. And that is also a great bill. If the doctor asks me if I own firearms, I'm going to just tell him it's none of his damn business. But it's good to know that if that bill passes, that they won't even be able to ask that question anymore. We're fortunate in the state of Tennessee that our representatives always look out for our best interests for Second Amendment and gun owners. And they've been doing a great job, and I commend them on that. But again, I can't stress it enough. No matter what state you live in, go to your state's website, find the General Assembly, and see what bills they're proposing. Don't take your gun rights for granted. I don't, even though Tennessee is a very gun-friendly state. That can all change in one election. I mean, look what happened to Virginia. Virginia is going downhill quick. They have a Democratic governor, and they have all kind of gun bills. Yeah, I agree, Ted. If you were going to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, they are required to ask. But in Tennessee, if that bill goes through, they will not be able to do that any longer. And I like that. We do have a stupid gun law on the books, and it's not just in Tennessee, and it's called the intent to go armed. And it's a very gray area. It's not really explained well, because if you think about it, technically, anybody carrying a firearm has the intent to go armed. And if they wanted to make an example out of you, they could arrest you for that. However, in Tennessee, I don't know how they're going to be able to enforce that. And DD50W, hello to you too. I don't know how you can enforce a law like the intent to go armed when you're a constitutional carry state. You don't need a permit to open or concealed carry. It's almost redundant. However, the court ruled that it's unconstitutional and cannot be enforced. And surprisingly, our Governor Lee and our Attorney General are appealing that, which I don't understand why. Governor Lee is the one that passed the bill and signed the bill that declared Tennessee a constitutional carry state, and yet they won't take that stupid law off the books. And no one's ever even been charged with it. And Duke, hello to you too, brother. Thanks for joining. Hope you're okay with the storm out there. But this is why I can't stress enough. If you don't belong to the NRA or Gun Owners of America or any other Second Amendment group, I highly recommend you do that because uh, they spend the money to fight the fight that we can't afford to do as individuals. And as gun owners, it's our obligation to fight back. You can't sit there and do nothing and then complain that they're trying to take away our gun rights. Okay. So, as I've said many times, the problem when you have a lot of firearms is, if you go into a gun store, it's hard to find the gun that I really want. And Zombie, you're very welcome. I'm glad that they worked out for you. And Steve, thank you for joining. I appreciate that. I really do. So, because I have a hard time finding what my next gun is going to be, I decided that I would start doing some build projects. And I used to have a Glock 21, and I got rid of it for some reason a long time ago. And I regretted that one for a long time. So I'm building my own. And Brownells had a Lone Wolf Glock 21 lower. And I purchased that. And I'm doing well, Alchemist. And how are you? So now I found KM Tactical, and they have Glock 21 slides. So for under $300, I could build my own Glock 21 45 ACP Gen 3 pistol. And it's not really even about the money. It's just the fun of building one because, like I said, when I go into a gun shop now, it gets harder and harder. I'll probably just wind up sticking to revolvers and 1911s, but I do want to get the experience, so I'm building these from scratch. I bought the lower frame and the parts kit, and the slide and the parts kit will come later. I want to wait and see the quality of the frame. Fortunately, the Glock 21 and the Glock 20 use the same frame. So before I go out and get a slide, I'm going to wait until I get the frame in, which is back ordered right now. And I'm going to take the slide off my Glock 20 and try it on there. And that's pretty cool that you can go back and forth between 10 millimeter and 45 ACP. Again, I don't even know why I got rid of the Glock 21 a couple of years ago. But I regret that. I think the Glock 21 is probably the best non-1911 pistol out there. Yeah, I bet it's too cold to do anything in Minnesota. God, what a horrible state you live in. Yeah, Christopher, my wife and I probably got about a dozen of those jigsaw puzzles, and we put them together and bought the kit where you get the glue and the backing and the frame, and we have them hung up in various rooms. It's a cool project to do. What I want to do is see if I can take like the pro gun banner I have behind me and send that to a place and get a jigsaw puzzle made out of that. That would be pretty cool. I'll have to look for that later on. I think having a Pro Gun 45 puzzle would be cool. I got a bunch of new knives to review from Kershaw. They're the Ken Onion leek knives. So those are pretty cool. I just got a new holster sent to me from Nate Tactical for my Springfield. I had a couple belly band holsters that were sent to me. I just released the video on the Blackhawk Nacho. I do have one from Clip and Carry. I didn't release it yet, but the videos are all out there queued up. So yesterday, finally, my YouTube strike was removed. YouTube strike lasts for 90 days. So finally it went away. And now I'm even more paranoid about what I post because the YouTube gods just don't like us gun channels. And, you know, something that was okay a couple weeks ago isn't okay now. Matter of fact, they just removed 3 videos of mine from 2005 saying that I violated community guidelines. They're gun reviews just like every other damn gun review I do. But yet, for some reason, they determined that my review on the Gerson violated community guidelines. I mean, I mentioned the price because it's important to know how much it costs. And their take was that I was promoting the sale. And you really have no recourse. They take your video down. They tell you can appeal it. When you hit the button to try to appeal it, within 5 seconds, you get an automated email back saying, appeal denied. You know, they're going after a lot of the big channels and now the smaller ones. I mean, this channel is very small. I don't know why they're wasting their time going after my channel, but anyway. Yeah, I was disappointed I didn't get to go to SHOT Show. No, I did not change the name of my YouTube channel, nor will I, because I have it embedded in too many different places. And they monitor that anyway. I just don't understand why when you create a video and you upload it to YouTube, they'll either approve it, deny it, tell you that it's monetized or not. But these are videos that they approved and monetized a year ago, and now they just remove them, saying I violated community guidelines. You don't really have any recourse, and YouTube is still the biggest platform for monetization. So I will stick with it. Even though we are a small channel, I do receive monetization from YouTube every month. And I do, after I accumulate it, that's what I use to purchase the firearms and accessories. And that's what paid for the Henry Big Boy. So thank you all who subscribed and watch and like our videos. The more people watch them, the more revenue we generate. So if you haven't watched them, watch as many of the videos as you can. Share them with your friends. Hit the like button, comment. YouTube monitors comments and likes and shares, and they push your video out to more people. Uh, Share our channel with everyone you know that's a gun enthusiast. I'd appreciate that. We do have some new people on the stream, and we do this live stream every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. Also, if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate that as well. And if you are subscribed to the channel and you want to show your support, you can go to the store and you can purchase Pro Gun 45 coffee mugs and t-shirts. We don't make any money on them. They're sold at cost. Matter of fact, they get shipped to you directly from the company, not us. We make nothing on it. Some people asked about them, and that's why I created and put them out there. And I know some people have purchased them, so thank you for that. And greetings to Finland. I'm always curious when we get people from other countries that join our stream, what the firearm laws are like in your country. In the States, it's kind of crazy because we do have a constitution, we do have the Second Amendment, but yet every state seems to make up their own gun rules. And I still don't understand, if we have the Second Amendment and it's absolute, why the federal court 50 years ago didn't just rule on it and put their foot down and say, that's it. Individual states can't make up their own rules. And it goes beyond states. Sometimes it goes by county or city. In Pennsylvania, you can carry a firearm, but you can't carry one in Philly or Pittsburgh. These liberal states just do whatever they want. Yeah, well, that's the problem, Wesley. There's something wrong with the system, is that your Second Amendment rights shouldn't end at your state's border, right? And it is absolute. And what don't they understand about shall not be infringed? Our Second Amendment rights are not the government's right to take away. And the ironic thing about it is that they don't take away the First Amendment or any of the other ones. They get to randomly pick and choose the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment protects all the others. That there's no accident why it's not that high up on the list. That's why it is the Second Amendment. And thank you, Wesley. I really appreciate that. Now, as far as the amendments go, yeah, they attack our Second Amendment every day. But when you think about it, even the First Amendment has consequences, right? And yeah, you have the right to free speech and you could say whatever you want. But if you're exercising your First Amendment and HR is monitoring your social media, you can get fired for it. I guarantee you, if you go on a job interview, as soon as you walk out that door, they're going to be checking your social media site. So even though you have the right to free speech, it does have consequences. Then you look at that lunatic mayor of New York City. Now, supposedly, he's trying to pass open carry in New York City. He doesn't have authority to do that, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. I mean, open carrying in New York City is it's like having the fat kid guarding the cupcakes, right? nothing good is going to come out of that. License for a gun costs €150. Well, you know what though, Sarmo? At least you can get them, right? What they did in some states, like the communist state of New Jersey, where I used to live, they made it where it's almost not affordable. And it's kind of ironic when they had the Braun case that New York filed, and they won the Braun case. New Jersey decided they didn't want to get sued, so they started issuing carry permits. But Governor Murphy at the time and the Attorney General stayed up all night long coming up with places you can and can't carry. All right, Wesley, you take care, brother. Be safe. And it's just ridiculous. I know a lot of people in New Jersey didn't even bother getting carry permits because, you can't carry within 1,000 feet of a school or a park, or can't carry at a parade. And they make you take your gun on and off. And the ironic thing about it is now New Jersey is they're going to make it a crime if you have a negligent discharge. So if you have a negligent discharge in New Jersey, that will charge you with the felony. So then they could take your guns away and you can't own any guns. And they're not helping the situation by forcing people to take their gun on and off all day long. They're exponentially increasing the odds of a negligent discharge. And it's almost like since they started issuing carry permits, their Second Amendment rights are actually going backwards. Now they're screwing around with high-capacity magazines again and assault weapon bans. Gundoggin, how you doing, brother? Hope you're safe out there. You know exactly where that is. We used to live in New Jersey, and we took the motorcycle out. We used to take the New York Thruway all the time, and I'm very familiar with Ulster and Putnam County. We used to ride along the Hudson River all the time. I want to go to SHOT Show. I've never been there. Now that the channel is growing, I'm hoping that I get approved next year as a social media influencer, because I do see that they allow guys like Honest Outlaw, etc. You're going to Harbor Freight. What should you get? Get a generator. Harbor Freight's my favorite store. The Harbor Freight Apache cases are as good as the Pelican for a third of the price. Mike, what's up? You need a raccoon trap. You can probably get that at Harbor Freight too. But I love Harbor Freight. They have a lot of stuff there. Like I said, their gun cases are awesome. Has anyone tried their Olight copy? It's funny, Ted. I saw that there, and I was gonna try. It just looked kind of cheesy to me. Certain things they do have are good, like their ammo boxes are great. I bought a few of their steel ammo cans. You can't beat their cases. I mean, I think I got my Apache 3800 on sale for $28. And I put that up against the Apache any day. Um, but I actually looked at that light and I picked it up, and it looked kind of cheesy. They also have a spotting scope, and I took that out of the box, and I don't know, that was kind of cheesy too. Um, everything at Harbor Freight isn't great. Um, they have a lot of good stuff, but they got a lot of crap too. You just have to be careful. And John's life, that's cool. Um, for those who weren't here earlier, Palmetto State Armory has got a new series coming out now called the AXR, I believe. It was announced at SHOT Show. It's not on their website yet, but probably will be in the coming weeks. And it's basically like a Legos platform where they sell the fire control group and barrels and slides and frames, etc. So you can start these build projects, and you could build uh, pistols and rifles. Their rifle lower receivers will take the same fire control group as the pistol. That should be pretty interesting. I'd like to see how that pans out. Maybe after I finish building my Glock 21 clone. Yeah, I agree, Johns. They have a lot of good tools there. I bought a bunch of hex wrenches and Torx wrenches, and they're very good quality. Screwdrivers are good quality. Um, their power tools seem to be good quality. Yeah, truck stuff is good. And Brian, you just walked out of your mommy and daddy's basement, I see, huh? Bye bye. Again, special thanks to our moderators. I really appreciate it. We couldn't do this without you guys. We have a lot of liberals that they don't have jobs, and they uh, stay up all night watching cartoons and their tidy whities eating Cheetos, and they wake up at around noon and have nothing better to do, so they join our channel. So thanks to our moderators for helping kick them out. I have a few power packs that I never thought about. I keep them in the drawer. I do keep one in the motorcycle in case I need to charge my phone. Um, but I took one out yesterday and charged it up um, just in case the power goes out and I don't have a charger. So it is 20 after 12 now. Now that I've babbled long enough, we'll go back to what we normally do on the forum. It's an open forum. We do this for you guys. This is where you get to ask questions or make comments and share information and ideas. So want to get started with that, just type it in and we'll get going. You know what, John? I like that. I saw that big Apache case, um, and I have a Flambeau and I have a um, what is it? And I have another one, and I got to tell you, for the money, um, you can't beat the Apache. You really can't. I mean, the quality of that is phenomenal. They actually make a big pistol case that I was thinking of getting that's on wheels, and it holds a lot. And I'm sorry, Mike, I don't have any experience with the 22 Creedmoor. However, everything I see and read about the Creedmoor, it's a great cartridge. It's a great caliber. Um, I just don't own one. Matter of fact, when I bought that Henry lever action, that I probably haven't purchased a rifle in 10 years. Um, so that's definitely uh, new for me. I'm a handgun guy, and I only bought the Henry because I always wanted a lever action, and um, it's getting harder and harder to find handguns that I want. Yeah, you can't beat the Harbor Freight Apaches, any of them, pistol, rifle, and not even just for firearms. If you're going to store um, anything breakable or electronics, yeah, and I like that pick and pluck foam that comes on there. Yeah, I have a rifle. I have a bench rest for a rifle, Duke. Um, Next time I take my 308 to the range, I'm going to use that. Um, John's Life. Yep, I used one of those for uh, my Go box. I'm a ham radio operator. Kilo Zero Fox Mike Sierra. Yes, Zombie. I have polished some parts, mostly um, the throat of the barrel where the feed ramp is. I don't have a ton of experience, but I have done it. Yep, that's exactly what I use it for, John, is field day. Yeah, that's all I need, Duke, is another damn hobby. My hobbies are so expensive, it's unbelievable. Between um, my guns and my Harley Davidson and my ham radio equipment and my drone, um, I I have real expensive hobbies. I man, you know what though? Speaking of rifles, though, I am looking at the Ruger 45 ACP carbine, and like I said, when I bought my uh, Smith and Wesson um, FPC in 9 millimeter, now they have one in 10 millimeter. I'm probably going to buy the damn thing in 10 millimeter just because. Uh, and maybe that's what I do now. Maybe because I have a hard time finding handguns that I like. Maybe I'll get some more rifles now, and I'll get the 45 ACP and the 10 millimeter. I have a boatload of ammo in both of those calibers, so uh, that's a no brainer. That's why I got the Henry in 357. I just loaded about 5,000 rounds of that, so I'll be good for a while. I don't reload rifle ammo only because I'm too lazy. It's a lot of work sizing the neck cases on the rifle ammo, but some of them, like we took the 308 to place we stay at has a outdoor range, and they had a gun shop down the road, and I think, I don't know, it was like $1 a round for 308 ammo. That shit is just expensive. Yeah, you need to be really careful when you polish. Um, you know, you definitely don't want to be using a Dremel. Um, I just use, I forget the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But I bought this polishing compound. It's almost like Simonized for your car. And it does a great job of polishing, and it doesn't do any harm. Yeah, I never tried reloading the 308 or any rifle ammo because, like I said, I'm just too lazy. Um, it just seems like a lot of work resizing the cases. Um, and 9mm is so damn cheap, it's not even worth reloading that. So I only reload 357, um, 10mm, and 45 ACP. Yeah, I don't, and I don't shoot the rifles that often. However, every time I go to the range, I will be bringing the Henry with me because it's 357. Maybe if I get the Smith and Wesson FPC in 10mm, it'll give me an excuse to shoot that more because I got a boatload of ammo for that. And the Ruger 45 ACP carbine just looks really cool. Um, so yeah, I think that's the route I'm going to go. Um, I just picked up another gun safe a couple months ago just for my long guns. I just stuck the Henry in there. I think I could fit one or two more in there. All right. Anyone else? Any questions? Any comments or topics that's Second Amendment related? Like I said, even arguments are good as long as they're done respectfully. You actually learn a lot from an argument because you get to hear another point of view. Because I'm out of stuff to talk about. Yes, I I actually have a few of the KCI mags. They're made in Korea and they're pretty damn good. And Zombie, um, California open carry. Um, it's funny. I'll get right to you, Duke. It amazes me every time I hear people bitching and moaning about open carrying and it makes you a target. They read other people's comments and they just regurgitate the stupid shit people say. I don't care how you carry. All I care is that you carry. If you can carry, carry. Whether it's open or concealed, I don't care. It's not my business. It's your choice. And it's not somebody's choice to tell me how I should or shouldn't carry. You know, and this nonsense about, concealed carrying for the element of surprise, and they're wearing a Kydex holster that could be heard in the next county. Anyway, um, Duke, to answer your question, um, I'm old school. I like using the Hoppies uh, cleaning products. However, I was sent a magnetic gun cleaning mat from Forsaken Industries, and they make their own CLP, and it's pretty damn good. Now, normally, when something claims to do many things, it does many things poorly, but it's not bad. But personally, um, I prefer the Hoppies. I use the Hoppies cleaning solution and their oil, and I'm perfectly happy with it. I'm not a fan of this spray on crap that's supposed to clean and lubricate all at the same time. You can't go wrong with the Hoppies, but I got to tell you, CLP is pretty damn good. Um, but I would still use the Hoppies oil after I'm done anyway. And Forsaken Industries actually makes a carb cleaner as well, and it is made in the USA. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hoppies is awesome cologne. Hoppies 9 does a great job with everything. I don't get any. I'll be honest with you, John. I don't have any lead fouling or copper fouling. Um, I stopped using copper plated bullets only because um, they don't like getting pushed that fast. And I use high tech coated lead bullets now. I've been using them for years. And the high tech coating prevents fouling. I don't really have leading or fouling on any of my barrels using them. I get my bullets from place in, it's called Steel Valley Casting, and they've been phenomenal. Good for you, though, Arthur. You're gonna love that Springfield, bro. I have a couple Springfield 1911s, and they're awesome. So I'm curious um, how you do with that and how you like it. Just curious where you're from, where you're going shooting today, because they got storms like all over the place. And fortunately, I just open my sliding glass door and go shoot in my backyard. I think the Springfield 1911s, I mean, the cult aside, for the money, are the best you can buy. And I agree with the magazines. Um, Most people that have 1911s that complain about them jamming, it's not really the gun, it's the magazine. And I only use Wilson Combat or Chip McCormick. And by the way, Wilson Combat bought Chip McCormick. So both of those magazines are fantastic. When I had my Kimber Custom 2 and it used to jam all the time, I was blaming it on the gun. And, it probably was the magazine. I didn't even think about it. I got rid of it and I bought my Colt Government Competition Plus. And I probably should have tried Wilson Combat. Yeah, it sucks, John. I hate waiting for parts. I'm like a little kid when I want it. I want it now, and I'll overpay for it. Um, I'm curious when I get that Glock 21 frame it is made by Lone Wolf, and they make great quality products. I use a lot of their barrels. Uh, I'm waiting to see what the quality is, and then when I get it, I'll take the slide off of my Glock 20 and throw it on there, see how it works before I buy a Glock 21 slide. Um, Swampy, I don't know if you're busting balls or not. We do try to keep this gun related. Yeah, those government issued 1911s those things are priceless and they're worth a fortune. Um, I bought my Colt government competition 2 years ago, so it's not an old Colt. However, it is made by CZ, so the quality has gone up. Um, Before CZ bought Colt, the quality of the Colt really went downhill the past 10 years. So CZ definitely helped that as well. Um, and they own a lot of companies like Dan Wesson. And I love the CZ Shadow. They make great quality guns. I'm surprised that your Bass Pro had a used firearm. Um, I don't think I've ever seen used firearms at mine. Yeah, that would really be cool there, Arthur. Um, would be expensive as hell, but it would be a priceless collection. Yeah, you know what, John's life. I saw that Pieta. Um, I I have mixed feelings about that. It's a clone, right? And yeah, okay, so it comes in at 1,000. It's only. I'll get right to you, Native. It's only a couple $100 less than the Python, and to me, if you could afford 1,000, you could afford 1,200 or 1,300. And it's only a replica. It's just like, my Uberti. I have a replica of the Colt Peacemaker. It's not a Colt Peacemaker. It's a freaking Uberti made in Italy, good quality. But I honestly, yeah, I've seen it, but I have no interest. There is nothing like a Colt Python, and I guarantee you the trigger is not going to be like that. All right, Native. Sorry for the delay. Springfield Echelon, in my opinion, is one of the best guns ever manufactured. Matter of fact, I'm really surprised that Springfield didn't propose the Echelon to the military like Sig Sauer did. Um, the only reason Sig Sauer won is the requirements were that the gun had to be modular. Um, and Sig Sauer did that. And they came in cheaper. But the Echelon, in my opinion, they took that thing light years ahead of the Sig Sauer. Not only is it modular, where you can take out the fire control group and switch out parts, because I did that. I bought the OD green uh, grip module on it, but the Echelon's pin configuration is ingenious engineering. It's got a 30 pin configuration, and by just moving the pins around, it accommodates up to 30 different optics without a mounting plate. And it's got the front tritium night sight, the rear U-notch sight for quick target acquisition. My only complaint is that, well, not a complaint. My only regret is that when I bought my Echelon, I bought the full size because that's all they had. Um, if I had to do it over again, I'd get the compact. Um, but I'm not going to part with mine just to get that. That's a good point there, Arthur. Um, I have the Colt Python Combat Elite, and I got to tell you, that is the best double trigger, double action trigger I have ever experienced on any revolver, ever in my whole lifetime. And again, you know, to call it a Colt Python clone and coming in at about $1,000, mm, when you have a gun that costs 12 to $1,500, like the Python, and a clone is coming in at 1,000. Like I said, if you could afford 1,000, you could afford 1,200. It's not going to be anything like the Python, number one. And number two, if God forbid you had an emergency and you needed money, it's only a damn clone. It's not going to command the resale value of a Colt. If you pass it down when you die, it's not really going to be worth much. So I'm not a fan of clones like that. I don't know. See, there's certain guns that I think you can clone, and some you can't. Like the Ruger RXM is a Glock Gen 3 clone, and that's okay because it's a striker fired polymer frame gun, just like the Glock. But, even at $800, it's still not a Colt, right? I mean, I bought my Uberti El Patron because I always wanted a single action revolver, and I couldn't afford, $2,000 on a Colt Peacemaker. But that's, it's still a clone. And I knew that when I bought it. I didn't buy it to have it as an expensive gun. I bought it just because I knew it was a replica. But I also didn't pay $2,000 for it. I paid like $500. I don't know, Brad. I bought my Colt Python last Christmas, and I have the Combat Elite, and I love that thing. Yeah, granted, it's not the same as the Colt from the '80s or the '90s, but it's still got the best double action trigger like butter. It's got the G10 grips, tritium front night sight. Um, the cylinder is solid instead of fluted. It weighs in at 44 ounces, and it's a hell of a shooter. Um, like I said, now that CZ owns them, the quality is back again. And yeah, but I do agree, Arthur. There's nothing like the original Colts. No, the new Pythons are not the originals, but they're still awesome guns. And in my opinion, it still has the best double action trigger out of any gun on the market right now. And I'm glad I bought it. I always wanted one. I know the older ones are worth more money. This is just me. I don't buy used guns. It's Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the M&P. The M&P now is making a metal frame gun. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe next time I go to Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo, I'll pick it up and see what it feels like. Apex triggers are awesome, and obviously you can't go wrong with the Trijicon. They ask over 1K for what? Exactly. It is only money. You can't take it with you. Yeah, that Casull is a nice gun. I don't blame you. That is definitely an awesome gun. Expensive as hell to shoot. I have I had a bunch of guns I got rid of that I regret. Um, One of my favorite revolvers was my Charter Arms 44 Special Bulldog. Um, it was too expensive to shoot. I had a 45 Colt revolver. Uh, there's just nothing worse than having a gun you can't afford to shoot. Well, like I said, John, the Pieta may look cool, but it's not even a clone. It's a copy. It's a replica, and I think $1,000 um, is way too much for a clone. Yeah, I get that. Buy now, pay later. They make it way too easy. You go to Smoky Mountain's website, they have Cordova on there. You go to buy a gun, and they have the buy a gun shoot now, pay later program. Uh, well, you know what, Arthur? For me, 357 is cheap to shoot because I reload my own. I just reloaded 5,000 rounds. That's why I bought my Henry lever action in 357 because I got a boatload of it and it's cheap. So, yeah, yeah, that is the policy at grabagun.com. Their policy is shoot now, pay later. And by the way, for those who don't know, Grab a Gun has gone public, and the uh, majority shareholder is Barron Trump, which is really cool. And he's on their board of directors. Um, I I don't know. I could see though that buy now pay later can get you in a lot of trouble. Uh, can with me. I mean, I can go to a gun store and easily bring home $4,000 or $5,000 worth of guns and then have to worry about paying for it. Yeah, you know the Tauruses make great revolvers. Um, I'm not a huge fan of their semi-autos, but I have a bunch of Taurus revolvers and they're pretty damn reliable. And yeah, Arthur, I bought the Henry Big Boy 357 lever action carbine. Um, I just released a video. If you want to take a look at that. Um, and then I just bought the Ruger GP 100 357. TX22. I'm not a fan of Taurus semi-automatics. Be honest with you, they're hit or miss. You either get a good one or a bad one. Their customer service absolutely sucks, and lifetime warranty doesn't mean anything if the gun is always in the shop. Um, Matter of fact, the Taurus PT series, they dropped that whole series because they had nothing but trouble with them. Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, every time I go to grabagun.com and they have the big bold letters, shoot now, pay later, I get so tempted to just click that buy it now button, but I try to be responsible and only buy what I can afford. Um, so I don't make a lot of money on this YouTube channel, but when I do get my monthly YouTube payments, I save them up for a couple of months and then I buy a gun with it. And it does two things. Um, it allows me to feed my addiction, number one, and number two, it keeps the wife happy because uh, money is not coming out of the household checking account. So I'm not taking away from household finances by doing that. So for all of you who have subscribed, thank all of you because that is how I purchase firearms and accessories to review for you guys. I just bought the Henry, so it's going to take me a few months now to save enough money to buy another gun, but yeah, and that's the problem there, Arthur. I would hit the buy it now button and buy a whole bunch of crap I don't need. I mean, I don't really need anything else, but I want a lot of stuff. But again, John's life, just going by the history of Taurus, and if you Google how many Taurus firearms get sent in for service, it's mind-boggling. You either get a good one or a bad one. Like I said, their customer service absolutely sucks. Now, I have a G3C. I haven't had a single issue with it at all. I bought it because it was cheap, and I bought it to do a review on it. But a lot of people have trouble with those too. Yeah, that would be great, especially the Beres scope. But yeah, I'm actually proud of myself for being able to refrain clicking that, shoot now, pay later thing. And like I said, I'm also a huge fan of the Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo. They have a great website and they have great prices, even though they're only down the road for me, no matter where you live. Even with their shipping, it's still cheaper than most places. And they have Cordova on their site, and I, the temptation would be too great for me to resist. See, now I go into a gun store and I have a hard time trying to find something that I want. But if I had the shoot now, pay later, I may go in there and buy a whole bunch of crap I don't even want just because it's like, free money in the meantime. Well, time flies. It's 12:55, so we have 5 minutes left. Hey, hi, sweetie pie. Yep, you stay safe out there too. So far, we didn't get anything yet. I agree with you, Arthur. The Remington 870, probably the best shotgun ever made. My wife's got one. Um, the workmanship on that is just incredible. So we have 5 minutes left for anybody that's got any comments or anything they want to discuss, and I will let it go over because um, my wife's away and I really don't have anything to do. Yeah, the Remington 870 I do really think is probably the best shotgun on the market. And then a close second to that would be the Mossberg 500. I have the Mossberg 500 Persuader. That's awesome. Yes, and that is true, Barb. It is a classic. The stock, the workmanship on that 870, it's timeless, and that's something that you pass down. Well, good to have you, Arthur. Thank you for stopping by. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. We do have a lot of new people on this stream today that just found us. So we do this live stream every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, and every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. And we do this live stream because my viewers and subscribers asked for it. They like to be able to exchange information, as do I. And I really enjoy the interaction and relationship that I have with my viewers and subscribers. And thank you all for your support. The growth we experienced this year has just been beyond my wildest dreams, and we couldn't have done it without you. A year ago, I only had 1,000 subscribers, and we're on our way to going to 10. And I never thought it would ever happen. And even though we're still a small channel, we grow bigger and bigger every day. So thank you all for your support. Also, people make donations and they purchase super chat stickers, and I appreciate that as well. That is how we purchase our firearms. I'm a small channel, don't have the funds to purchase firearms on a regular basis. I have to wait until I accumulate YouTube monetization. And because they're not big, it takes months to be able to do that, but we're getting there. Yeah, the Mossberg 500, it really is a great gun for the money. Yeah, it's cheaper than the Remington 870, but it's still not an 870. I mean, the 870 is clearly better, but the Mossberg 500 is no slouch either. And if you don't have the money to spend on an 870, the Mossberg 500 is definitely a way to go, and there's no shame in buying one of those. What's better about the 870? There's just a lot of things going for it. The checkering on the stock, the slide on that pump is buttery smooth. It's just a great all-around gun. Yeah, there are a lot of accessories for the Mossberg 500. I have the Mossberg 500 Persuader, and it came with a pistol grip, and I found it a little awkward to manage. So I got a collapsible stock for my Mossberg 500. It is only 18.5-inch barrel. And hey, Hartman, you just got out of your mommy's basement. And thanks to our moderators, you went away. And again, special thanks to our moderators. This live stream wouldn't be what it is without you guys getting rid of all the liberals that live in their parents' basement. So I appreciate you and thank you for that, because I cannot do that myself while trying to run this. So. All right, guys, it is 1 o'clock. I will be ending this stream now. For those that are in the areas impacted by the storm, be safe and wish you all the best. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much, and we'll catch you again next time. Have a safe evening.